Tapping on the PhraseStorm tab brings you to one of the most powerful inspection techniques available for property inspectors. Phrasing in Pocket Reporter has for 10 years provided significant time savings for property inspectors recording the condition of properties. PhraseStorm is the first major evolution of the Pocket Reporter phrasing system and provides a better breakdown structure called clouds to make it much more easy to find the phrases you're looking for, as well as a gesture-based grammar control system to more easily string individual phrases together into meaningful sentences and paragraphs. To start with, you need to understand that the phrasing in PRPro is context-specific, which means that you will see different phrases depending on what it is that you're looking at. Windows and walls, for example, have quite different sets of phrases due to their very different natures and the different problems that can occur with them. The item phrases, so windows, walls, doors, etc., provides the ability to describe specific details about the item type when it is in good condition and around the specific problems you might see. It is mostly tailored to the highly detailed ingoing and outgoing inspections. The area phrasing, accessed by selecting the area's overview, provides broad coverage but is mostly tailored to quickly describing the condition of areas during routine or periodic inspections. Phrases are categorized into different phrase types which provide a broad grouping. There are actually 7 different types of phrases, but only 5 are currently available in PRPro, with the remaining 2 coming in future updates. The first phrase type is for common phrases and is represented by a speech bubble. These phrases are actually the same for every single area and item type, and will help you pinpoint problems, note colours, as well as make property manager comments. The second phrase type is for descriptive phrases and is represented by the house. These phrases help you describe what it is that you're looking at, such as materials, construction, accessories, etc. The third phrase type is for positive phrases and is represented by the heart. Positive phrases help you describe the current area or item when it is in good condition, or at least the good aspects of the condition. The fourth phrase type is for negative phrases and is represented by the skull and crossbones. Here you'll find phrases describing most of the problems you're ever likely to see, as well as some you'll hopefully never see. The final phrase type is for helping describe photos and will be described in the photo editing tutorials. Phrase clouds provide an easy way to find subgroups of phrasing within each phrase type. They are represented by the red buttons with the storm cloud. The currently active cloud is depressed and has its cloud shown in colour. Tapping on each cloud shows the grid of phrases available within that cloud, and should have a name which gives you a good idea of what those phrases are for. Once you can see a set of phrases, there are 3 different classes of phrase which behave in different ways when you use them. The most basic phrase has a white button and will insert the text on the button into the notepad above. Power phrases have a blue button with a lightning bolt. These phrases are too long to fit on the button, but have a tag indicating what the phrase is for. Some of these phrases provide an entire paragraph worth of text and so are extremely useful and worth exploring. Numeric phrases have a green button with a calculator symbol. These phrases allow you to enter a number and will deal with singular plural issues for you. They typically have a tag like the power phrases. While you can tap a power or numeric phrase to find out the full phrase text, it is useful to note that you can check the text and also see a tutorial on the grammar gesture system by holding down on a phrase for a second. The phrase tutorial will pop up explaining the 4 different swipe gestures to add grammar and showing the full text of the phrase, which can be scrolled if it is particularly long. Tapping on the central button will simply insert the phrase as if you were tapping on the actual phrase button. If you tap on any of the arrows, however, a message will appear explaining exactly what the swipe gesture does, and gives you the option to check the other gestures with no, or to go ahead and use the current gesture with yes. Tap outside the tutorial window to cancel it. Now we'll look at a quick demonstration of PhraseStorm. Rent Review is a great example of power phrasing and numeric phrasing in action, so we'll start there. First tap the rent start numeric phrase and the numeric entry popover will appear. Enter the dollar value of the rent and tap done to enter the phrase. You can edit the text if you need to, as per normal, however it is very important to note that the next phrase will be inserted wherever you leave the cursor, so if you want to keep adding phrasing to the end of the text, you need to put the cursor back there when you're done, and then dismiss the keyboard. Now that we've entered the value, we can use one of the period phrases to specify how often the rent is paid before tapping the rent end phrase to finish off the sentence. Now you have some options. You can tap Keep Rent to indicate that it should stay as is. If you wanted a different option, you would now be faced with deleting that phrase. Instead of manually selecting and deleting the text, just tap the Undo button in the top right corner. Undo and Redo should be familiar to you from most document editing systems on PCs. Now that we've gotten rid of the incorrect phrase, we can use the Increase Rent phrase and select Now or in the future, and then provide notice conditions. You should be able to see that this whole process can take less than 10 seconds, and yet provide you with detailed, customized paragraph of text, professionally formatted with full grammar. To see the grammar gestures in action, we'll have a look at some basic phrases for a wall. While we could use the quick phrases for a wall in good condition, if there is a problem, we need to get back into the basic phrases. I'll start by tapping the wall is and clean. Now I'd like to say tidy, however I need a comma first, so I swipe left on tidy and a comma is added for me. Next, I'd like to add free of marks, but I want to put and in, so I swipe right on free of marks and then select and from the list. Now I want to get into the problems I'm seeing, so I switch to the negative phrases and select the damage cloud. I want to add crack, but need to join it. Here I have two options. The first is to swipe right and tap on but. As an alternative though, I can instead start a new sentence by swiping up. I'm going to select nothing, and then you'll see that a full stop was entered and crack was automatically capitalised for me. There's not a lot of value in simply identifying that there's a crack in a wall, so we'll use the common phrases to specify where the crack is. First I'll tap near the, and then I'll go to the descriptive phrases for the wall and select cornice. Finally I'll tap in the and right before finishing the sentence by swiping down on corner and selecting nothing. Again, we've got a professional, grammatically correct paragraph explaining the condition of the wall. The grammar controls will be the most difficult part of PhraseStorm to master. However, with continued practice, you'll be able to enter text 2 to 3 times faster than a quick iPad keyboard user. A really easy way to speed up your PhraseStorm use is to rotate the iPad to portrait. As you can see, all 4 types are displayed simultaneously on the screen, which means you have less switching between different phrase types. Having finished PhraseStorm, you're now ready for Part 4, Navigation and History.